Good day and welcome to the Saturday Sport Wrap-Up Show, where we will be unpacking the latest sports news in and beyond Namibian borders, and of course as well as a lot of results that happened over the course of the weekend from yesterday and today as well. I'm sure the cricket fans and Namibia at large will be celebrating today as Namibia made a victorious display against the Proteas South Africa. And now for the latest on the hit list. Today on the hit list, we start off with some good news from cricket and Namibia. Today, FNB Namibia Cricket made history in beating the Proteas at the FNB Namibia Cricket Grounds in Windhoek. Namibia 138 for 6, South Africa 134 for 8, both after 20 overs. It was indeed an incredible result, and the stadium was packed to the rafters as the fans cheered the team. Let's enjoy the video from that game.
Whatever, step and run.
One from one. Run it! Run! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Wow! Yeah! Say, go Namibia! Chief! Go Namibia! Yeah! Lekker boys, lekker man!
What a performance.
Good stuff.
Look,
What a pass. What the?
Abby.
Come on, boss! Go, boss! Pita! This place is actually, you know how nice it is? You have a full stadium.
Yeah. 7,000 full. Sold out.
What a day it has been for Namibian cricket. It's a day written in history, of course. And now let's move on to neighboring border South Africa, the South Africa Schools under 17 nationals, where Namibia's My Zone team was also involved, and you can see the last match there fighting and losing 26-19 to Griquas, and then you can see some results also that came through. Griffins 15 as VD Eagles 21, Western Province 17, Boland A 29, and look at more results there as they came through, and those were now the big ones, the finals there. You can see Boland A 26 27-5, and then we have Golden Lions 19-10 against the Blue Bulls. Of course, these matches played at the later stage of the game. Now, our South African team has some highlights prepared for us. Let's enjoy.
Die skrimskaker Arno Nel, groot skrim deur die Leopards. Opgepik, 5 meter van die doellyn af. 8 toe aangegee na niemands land toe nie, maar opgepik deur Carabello. Rolskop opgesit. En die 3 word nee, geen 3 word toegeken nie. Dit is wel 'n strafskop aan die Vrystaat. Dat kan speel. En hier kom hulle. Mabena. Bal toe getrap. En gaan hy aan die pad kan gaan. Oor die halflyn. Wie jy dippenaar. En dit is JG Hoon. Die eerste punte behoort aan die manne van Bloemfontein. Baie goeie ondersteuningsspel. En die bal word dan daadwerkelijk afgeneem deur die Cheetahs. En hier kom hulle. Lam Ngedezi. Steeds Ngedezi. En hy gaan al die pad gaan. En hy stamp die man af. En die Cheetahs. Tweede 3. Baie hoog hang. En dan kom hy terug aan die kant van die Cheetahs. Groot loop hier daarso deur sy Matthese. Kom hy uit. Rolskop word opgesit en opgevolg deur Orion Klein. En hy gaan verspot maklik hierdie een gaan druk. Die derde 3 in 'n bestek van 2 minute. $19 punte teenoor 0. Baie hoog gehang, weer teruggewen. En dan kom ek terug aan die kant van die Vrystaat. Opgepik deur die hakker weer dippenaar. En verspot maklik. En dit is sy driekens briljant gedoen. En dit gaan na MJ Otto. Sneiers. Nou vir die Leopards. Om te kyk of hulle iets kan bewerkstellig. Bal gaan deur die hande Fop aangee. Deur de Wet Grobela. En hy vind Wian Dupree. En hy word losgelaat. En die Luiperd word losgelaat. En hulle is oor vir hulle eerste punte. Groot skrim deur die Cheetahs, maar dan kom hy uit aan die kant van die Leopards. Fop aangee. En afgeneem. Verspot maklik en soos 'n vis binne die water. Ingesit. Deur Drysdale. Daar kom hy uit. Lang aangee. Baie goed gedoen. Deur Ntuli. Daar kom hy uit. Nelson. Lang aangee. Kort aangee hierdie keer na Dippenaar. Hy is op die vleuelposisie. Dippenaar. Verspot maklik Dippenaar. Bye. Sit. Well, comes out now, balls. First to put points on the board. It is Ruben Venter. Let's go. It's a blood replacement. Jaden again with ball in hand. Gives it out wide. Chunu. Plays it out wide. Does he have the pace to go all the way? Yes, he does. Mchunu. What a try. Ayanda Mchunu for the Golden Lions. Okay.
Ball goes. We've been playing the ball now. Van Jaarsveld takes ball into change of direction. Thailand Baron, this man is dangerous. Oh, unlucky the offload is not there. But Van Jaarsveld, Hot Wheels.
Thailand Baron. Abraham Saudi. Counterak mooi gedoen. George. Daar gaan hij. Abraham Saudi. George. Spoed, spoed, spoed. Jufra.
And the restart it now from the Bulls. Mchunu, he spots the gap. Unfortunately, it's not through. But well done there from Joshua Ghosh. Ball gets out wide for the Lions. Alasukum. There he goes. Hey, this man is fast. Jaden. He's attacking the line. Whoo. Die man wat amper 100 op sy Mchunu inside. Ball, penalty against the Bulls. Not releasing the tackler. Gaan hy kom hy.
Oh! Dit was 'n mooi drie, Mikael nou.
Now that was some of the action in South Africa there. Back here in Namibia, the Basketball League also reached its climax there. The KBA Basketball Premier League Quality Basketball winning the title there, 105-96 against the Unam Wolves. Quite a surprising victory there for Quality Basketball team that has been doing well. Also in the first division, we can see the final results there. Unam Penguins 84-79 NAS Gladiators. NAS Gladiators giving the Unam Penguins a run for their money in that one there. Let's see the scenes from the Unam basketball court after these matches. Now, there was indeed some FIFA World Cup qualifiers. A lot of teams will not make their dreams a reality this time around. If you look at the results there, Namibia, this was now on Thursday, 3-1, losing to Liberia. Mozambique there, a great victory over Guinea. Burundi losing to Kenya by a solid goal to nil. We have Botswana there losing to Uganda. Somalia beaten by Algeria at home. And then we continue on to Friday as well, which was yesterday. Gambia there losing to Gabon, while Togo was made sure they lost to the DRC Congo, of course, and Seychelles trounced by Ivory Coast, who are just a win away from qualifying to the World Cup. Sudan, Mauritania playing to a 0-0 stalemate. South Sudan there, and Senegal coming out victorious in that one by 5 goals to 0. And Sao Tome Prince losing to Tunisia 6 goals to 0. Sao Tome Prince and Tunisia are in the same group as Namibia, which we will just assess it at the moment. They also played yesterday. And then we have Rwanda losing to Benin at home. And the big one was also South Africa versus Zimbabwe. South Africa needing a victory in order to find themselves in pole position. However, they did not do that, playing to a 0-0 stalemate. Both teams finishing with 10 men in that match. Well, Zimbabwe were the first to lose a man in that match, following 2 yellow cards, and then South Africa towards the end of the game as well. The South Africans will not be happy with that, and it's quite a close group, of course, that will take a lot of for South Africa. They need to win their final group match and hope that Benin loses also to Nigeria in that match, of course. So it's going to be a big one for them. Let's take a look at the Namibian group there. Tunisia playing yesterday. They have already qualified, extending their lead. They're 25 points. A great victory for them, of course. They have played this group stages and yet to find a defeat, and of course they have won 8 of their 9 matches in this competition, in this qualifiers. And you can see Namibia, of course, their hopes of qualifying to the World Cup fading away with each game there. 15 points. And other groups for the playoffs, it probably wouldn't be good enough. We know their next match is against Tunisia, and Tunisia riding on a wave of success. They already qualified. They probably want to go out with an unbeaten record. Of course, these things works in terms of rankings. Liberia back in the picture. If they can win their final match, they could come to 17 points, which could probably be enough for a playoffs, provided how things go in the other groups. Now let's look at some World Cup qualifiers in Europe. There, Finland 2-1 against Lithuania. Malta losing to the Netherlands. Czechia 0-0 against Croatia. Austria thumping there 10-0 against San Marino. Scotland 4, Greece 0. Faroe Islands 4, Montenegro 0. Cyprus 2, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, of course, there it's 2-2. You can see the rest of the results in that regard. Of course, it was not to be for some of the teams. Let's look at the international qualifiers, friendlies, pardon me. There was also some international friendlies for those teams that were not competing in the World Cup qualifiers, of course. And as you can see for yourself there, we have Romania beating Moldova by 2-1, and then we have England, of course, beating Wales. Poland 1-0 against New Zealand. Morocco, the African team, beating Bahrain. Stan Vicente beating Cuba. Uzbekistan 2 against Kuwait. And then on Saturday, which was today, there was was a draw between Japan and Paraguay. South Korea losing to Brazil by 5-0. They always say Brazil, the World Cup has not started until Brazil plays. They have already qualified for the World Cup. Of course, they will be part of that one. We have Uruguay beating Dominican Republic by solid goal to nil. Jordan, they losing to Bolivia. Russia 2-1 against Iran. Wow, what a match it should have been there. Looking at the political scope of these two nations, of course, this is football. And then we had Chile there 2-1 against Peru. Canada 0. Australia 1. Argentina 1. Venezuela 0. And the United States of America, of course, the co-host of the next World Cup, already preparing there. It's a 1-1 against the Ecuador. Of course, a big one there. And now news back at home. We have the Velviches, of course, the Namibia rugby national team. The squad has been named for that big occasion in Dubai. It's going to be a big one, of course, for Namibia as they aim to qualify for the World Cup through this difficult route. And if you can see the squad there, we have props. Osha Awala, Joshua Buster, Aranos Kutsier, Gianluca Savoldelli, Haitembu Shikufa, and Herschel van Wyk. The hookers are Armand Combring and Edward Drotsky, Louis van der Westhuizen, Torsten van Jaarsveld, as well as the locks here. We have Tian de Klerk, Oliver Cruz, Adrian Ludik, Johan Retief, and Johan Ludik. The loose forwards are Adrian Boysen, Wian Conradi, Rian Groove, Prince Gauzep, Richard Hardwick, as well as Max Cashiteo. On the scrum halves, we have Andrew James Kearns, Hilarious Kisting, Jacques Theron. And then the fly halves, we have Clive Lobster, Tian Swanepoel, Andrew van der Berg. And the senders, Dangoberger, Johan Diesel, Alcino Isaacs, Leroux, Malan, JC Nel. Wings and fullbacks is Jagon Meyer, Aston Mukilongo, Devan Rousseau, Danny van der Merwe. This preliminary group will continue preparation under the NRU's high performance program. The final players traveling squad for the Rugby World Cup qualifiers in Dubai will be confirmed. That is on the 20th of October. Of course, a big one there. And now we also have some news as the JSB betting company has been involved with the power lifter there. Of course, some good news, and let's hear from them as Brian Munango prepared this for us.
So, thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to be with my brother Javon and my good friend Philip. We're here to announce a really fundamental supporting sponsorship towards the powerlifting championships taking place, or the world championships. We'll go into more detail. We had a bit of a challenge. We couldn't raise the funds. Reached out, and our friends from JSP were very quick to say the support will come on board. This man deadlifts 280 kilograms, and I'm sure he can push a bit more if he really wants to. I think I'm probably at about 20-25 kilograms. But yeah, really, we're just here to say thank you. We really appreciate the efforts that JSP put into sport, various sport codes. We have a long-standing relationship in football, but we appreciate it. And I think with that, maybe I can hand over to Javon.
Now I'll have to laugh and leave you, but before I say goodbye, let me introduce you to someone who is so well equipped in the knowledge of a Formula One. That is Irina Marie van der Waal, to give us the latest news and the happenings on the Formula One sector. Of course, she is the expert. From me, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
It is not Formula One race weekend, and hopefully this weekend serves as an opportunity for McLaren to think about what they've done and think about what they're going to do about what they've done. So fans are obviously very upset, and there's been a lot of discourse over the past week about Oscar Piastri having a bad pit stop last time out, and Lando Norris not being asked to let Oscar Piastri pass. Which, when Lando Norris had a bad pit stop, they asked Oscar Piastri to let Lando Norris by. Now, I don't have a problem with asking a driver to let his teammate by. I don't have a problem with not asking the driver to let their teammate by. I have a problem with this pipe dream that is, we don't have a number one driver. Actually, we do. We have two number one drivers, you know? That was McLaren's promise at the beginning of the season. And the problem that I have with that promise is that it is not keepable. You can't keep that promise, you know? Because what you have to do then to not have a number one driver is to have a perfect year where you do not make a single mistake. A year where your margin for error is a big fat round 0. And that is not possible. That's not possible in Formula One. That's not possible in my industry. That's not possible in any industry. We are humans. We make mistakes. A pit crew makes mistakes. Management makes mistakes. Mechanics make mistakes. So telling yourself that you're going to have this year where you're not going to have a slow pit stop, you're not going to have a mechanical error or even a mechanical failure, everything is going to be perfect. That's not a promise you can keep. McLaren were never realistic with themselves when they made that promise to themselves and to their drivers. So I do understand not asking Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris to let Oscar Piastri by last time out. So when Oscar was asked to let Lando by, it made a difference in the runs, you know. He was supposed to come out, Lando was supposed to come out ahead of Oscar had he not had a bad pit stop. The plan for Oscar, you know, the last Grand Prix, was that Oscar was always going to come out behind Lando. Even when he went into the pits, the plan was he was going to come out behind Lando. So I think that's why they didn't ask Lando to let Oscar by. But it's just not a good look, and they made it so much worse by celebrating their Constructors' Championship without Oscar. It's not a good look, it's not good for PR. Especially, McLaren seems to now be developing a talent for overshadowing wins. They overshadowed Oscar Piastri's first race win, you know, with all of that radio chatter with Lando. They overshadowed their own constructors' win by not celebrating with Oscar. They've overshadowed so many wins with this internal team bickering, you know. So it was such an unrealistic promise to make to yourself. It was an unrealistic promise to make to your drivers, and it was an unrealistic promise to make to the fans of Formula One. Not just because you can't have a faultless year, but because truly a number one driver is a necessary evil in Formula One. We talk a lot about it, about, oh, who's the number one driver? Who's going to be the number one driver? Oh, it's so bad that they chose this person as their number one driver. But it is a necessary mechanism within a team because you create an expectation, right? If McLaren had to say that, for example, Oscar Piastri is our number one driver, right? Then Lando Norris knows what to expect. He knows that if Oscar Piastri has a bad race, he's going to be asked to step aside. Or if he has a bad pit stop, or if, you know, Oscar Piastri is nearing the end, they're hoping for him to win the Drivers' Championship, he's going to be asked, him who is Lando, is going to be asked to step aside, right? It manages expectations, and thus it manages internal conflict within a team. Which, as much as we don't like to admit it, internal conflict in any work situation, not just Formula One driving, has an effect on your end product. And your end product, in Formula One's case, has the potential to create more internal conflict. So McLaren are going to have to either stop making mistakes, which is a very unrealistic expectation, or they are going to have to pick a number one driver. Because this season could end very, very badly for them if they don't.